Hello and welcome. My name is Jim Logan, and I serve as the Clarinet professor at the University of Texas at El Paso, UTEP. And this is another in a series of videos designed to help students prepare for the 2024 All-Region, All-State auditions. So this video, we're going to focus on Etude number 3, page 73, and we're going to go step by step here. Now, I'm assuming that you have looked at my video that was posted through TMEA on the website. If you need information on how to access that video, don't hesitate, send me an email. You can get my email address at the end of this video. So, in order to really prepare and be able to play this etude, we have to be able to have an instrument that that is sealing well so that we can play our B's on the right side. We're in the key of E here, and because of the C sharps and the D sharps that we have, there are going to be a lot of B's on the right side. If your instrument is not able to play that note, it's because you've got a pad leaking there, and it needs some attention. That is the first pad that seems to go bad, pardon the pun, or the rhyme. So it's absolutely crucial that your instrument be in good working order in order to nail those B's on the right side. So in that very first measure, the second note is a B played on the right side. The fourth note is a B played on the right side, followed by the C sharp, followed by the D sharp. Coming off of that E in the second measure, you have your choice. There's no wrong answer here when we're talking about going from B to A sharp, same as B flat, to B. That's one way of doing it. So it would be E, regular B, A sharp, fork or chromatic B to C sharp. Or you can play the E and then the fact that we're tonguing that B, that second note, gives us a little cover. If we want to go to the fork fingering, we can do that and just do fork both ways. It's really up to you. Some of these fingering choices are choices. Some of them are not. But like I say, we're not talking about the B on the right. Unless you have an instrument that has a D sharp or an E flat extra key over here, you're going to have to play that B on the right side. And even though I have that extra key on my instrument, I still play that B on the right side, partly because I learned it on an instrument that didn't have that optional key way back when. So I'm going to play through this very slowly for you, the first 4 measures. I would encourage you to spend a lot of time at that tempo or even slower, okay? I'm going to have a discussion later, another video I'm going to put out talking about something called myelin. It is the scientific proof that practicing slow is absolutely essential to learning these things, but that's for another time. But just suffice to say that there's a reason why you've heard 100,000 times, practice slow. It's because it works, okay? Practice slow as you need to go, okay? And right out of the gate here, I would be looking at dynamics as well. At this tempo, be thinking about what your dynamics are. We have a mezzo forte, and then a mezzo piano, and then a mezzo forte. Mezzo forte crescendo, mezzo piano crescendo, up to a mezzo forte, and then decrescendo down to the downbeat of measure 5, which is piano. So one of the things I do just when I'm introducing dynamics is just to practice those dynamics, to figure out, so I get in my head kind of where I'm trying to get to with these dynamics. For example, at this tempo, 1, te, 2, te, and then fill in the blanks. I know of a number of students who have the mindset of the dynamics are to be added at the end, like the cherry on top of an ice cream sundae. I disagree with that completely. I think you introduce the dynamics at the earliest time, and this is the earliest time. We're figuring these notes out at a super slow tempo. This is now the time to be thinking about dynamics. It's not too early. Okay, and let's move on to measure 5. Now we're on the downbeat of F sharp. That third note is B sharp, same as C natural. Downbeat of measure 6. We have an F sharp there as well. I would encourage you to use your side key F sharp. So you play your this is sometimes called your chromatic F sharp. So you have E sharp, last note of measure 5, same as F. Add the side keys. Try to avoid flipping. Try to avoid flipping. It does not. It is just not clean, as clean as F with your 2 side keys. Looking ahead, the downbeat of measure 7 should be a fork fingering. The last measure, the second line, measure 9, you have another B sharp. B sharp is the same as C. You're going to play that on the left side, followed by the D sharp, G sharp. That little X funny thing is a double sharp. F double sharp is the same as G, to an F sharp, regular F sharp fingering, okay? So here's line number 5, slow. Okay, there is a breath mark there. So, you know, if you choose to take a breath mark or a breath, you're not going to be penalized, or you shouldn't be in the audition. However, in a perfect world, you're going to play this quick enough that you're not going to need that breath there, okay? The super studs out there that are going to be playing this will probably blow right through that. However, if you want to take a breath there, again, that's no problem. I would highly encourage you, though, to make a little nuance of it and not do the slam-a-jamma, drive the car into the wall, stop, and then start 0 to 60 again. So when we're up to tempo, this is measure 7. When we're up to tempo somewhat, avoid this. Starting measure 7. Okay, technically that's what it says to do, but let's make a phrase marking on it. If you're going to take a breath in the middle of the phrase, slow down. Okay? Again, if you want to run that past your director, then absolutely ask for their opinion on that. That's my opinion on it. If they say something otherwise, then do what your director says and ignore me. Okay, so that's the measure 5. That's the second line. Let's move on to measure 10. Anything here? So we have in measure 10, we have an A sharp, same as B flat, to a G sharp, same as A flat. What your 1 finger F sharp is fine. Second measure, you have an E sharp there. So again, in that second measure, you're going to play the F sharp, E sharp, E, D sharp, C sharp. In measure 13, you have some B, a B to D sharp, and then you have a C sharp, B, A sharp. So that B, the first B in measure 13 should be on the left because of the D sharp that follows. And then that C sharp in measure 13 should be on the right, followed by the B on the left, followed by the A sharp, okay? Again, that's C sharp on the right, B on the left, A sharp downbeat. Slow, and then we slide. Oh, this is the famous slide. So again, unless your instrument has this extra key on the left hand, you're going to need to slide from that D sharp to C sharp. Okay, all right. This is where hand position comes into. Excuse me. Hand position comes into play here. It's very important that when you're utilizing these keys, that we're not throwing the whole finger over the whole key, but just on the end of the key. And this is especially important in a spot like this, where we're gonna have to slide from D sharp to C sharp, okay? D sharp to C sharp. And the little trick here is to rub a little bit of nose grease, for lack of a better term, and that will help that slide, okay? I highly suggest that you do that. I know it's a little on the gross side, but hey, get over it. That's what it takes. D sharp to C sharp, and then we play at measure 15 on the downbeat, B on the left, D sharp, F sharp, B on the left, D sharp, F sharp, and then the B, okay? So here this passage is slowly. Okay? We have some accented passages there in 13 and 14, and that's a kind of a syncopated feel. Make sure that you bring that out, okay? So without the syncopation, I'm going to start in measure 12. Without the syncopation, just playing it straight. I went on that time. But now with the syncopation, to make it a little more fun. Okay, I bumped a key there, but you get the idea, okay? And then that downbeat at measure 16 really should be forte, but not really forte. When I have students put an F in that register, the F does not stand for forte, it stands for full, because we don't want to peel paint and play extremely loud on that high B. It can be really kind of an edgy note, so keep it nice, folks, and maybe not extreme, but full, followed by a subito mezzo piano. So it should be 15. Completely different, two different colors, okay? Can't tell you the importance of adding dynamics to this stuff, okay? Do it. Going on, measure 17. In measure 17, we have a B sharp at the end of that measure, followed by a D sharp. Make sure that B sharp is on the left, D sharp, F sharp, and then D sharp. Use your side key here, or if you want to use your chromatic, that's up to you. Okay, if you want to use that there's no wrong answer there. Followed by there's an E sharp in there, and then we need to E sharp, F sharp, G sharp. Talking about the last three notes in measure 18. All right, I would strongly suggest that you use your chromatic fingering there. And then we've got another B sharp, D sharp, F sharp there, downbeat of measure 20. So I'm going to play that very slowly, those three measures. Okay, and I'm also assuming that you've watched a TMEA video where I talk about practice techniques for this. Very briefly, I'm going to run through them on measure, starting using measure 17 as an example. For all of this technical stuff, I can't tell you how important it is to not just play the same measure 3 times the same way, but to play it using different methods. One of them being 4 for 1, 4 notes for every 1 note. And 3 notes for every 1 note. And 2 notes for every 1 note. And then to mess with the rhythm, playing long, short, long, short, long. And reverse that to short, long, short, long. And then the granddaddy of them all, which is to displace the beat, so that you start on the second note of measure 17 and you play to the second note of measure 18. There is no A, in other words, in measure 17 on that downbeat. You're starting on the G sharp. And then you're starting on the F sharp. That's into the new downbeat, the third note. And then the A, the fourth note. And then the B sharp, the fifth note. And then the D sharp, the sixth note. that makes a big difference in just having the finger know the order or the pattern of things. Okay. Let's go on. Measure 20, starting measure 20. We have another D sharp at the end of 20, followed by C sharp on the left. And then in 22, we have another slide, lucky us, to the B on the left, D sharp, F sharp. Another breath mark at the end of measure 24. Again, I would suggest you do something like this, starting measure 23. Okay, if you want to come out of that phrase turn and start a little slow. I mean, to me, I think that sounds musical. Again, I don't think you would be or should be penalized for wanting to do that. But I think the last thing you want to do is play this. Okay, this is a technical etude, but if we can make this sound musical, then when we get to something that really is a piece of music, we're ultimately that better for it. So trust me on that, folks. Let's go on. Let's see. So I'll go ahead and play measure 20, and I'm going to keep going here for a little bit. 20. Decrescendo there at the end. And I would suggest that you add accents. Anytime you have the syncopated stuff, you add accents. What I'm talking about earlier when we were talking about in measure 13, well, they're already marked accented, right? But I think the same thing should happen in measure 25. The downbeat and the fourth note of 25, there should be accents. It's written as I think adding syncopation there makes it a little more fun. And same thing at the second note of 30, second note of 31, second note of 32. Here's 30 as written. But what if we did something wild and crazy like, okay, I missed the B key there a little bit, but you get the idea. Add some syncopation on those notes. And then a nice crescendo, decrescendo to the bottom, to that low E in measure 34. A couple of fingering items there. Measure 25, the second C sharp in that measure should be on the left side. So that 25 should be really, I try to keep all emotion in one hand. So I would suggest that you play that C sharp on the left side, the second note of 25, and then the fourth note, catch the C sharp on the left. You have to because of the D sharp that follows. Make sure that accidental or that both of those notes are played as C sharp. If you are more comfortable playing a C sharp on the left to E, C sharp on the left, D sharp, okay. But I think we need to develop that ease of knowing that these patterns, we try and keep those motions in as much in the same hand as possible. I'll leave that up to you. Measure 27, we have a B on the right in that measure, followed by C sharp, followed by D sharp. Measure 29, again, we have a D sharp there. Whatever you want to do, D sharp here or D sharp here. But that C sharp at the end of the measure should be on the right side. As should be the C sharp in the third note of measure 30, that C sharp on the right side. That B in measure 31, that should be on the right side, so all the pattern is in the same hand. Okay, why involve the left hand when we can do it all in the same hand? Okay? Followed by, in measure 32, we have a B on the left side because of the D sharp that follows. And then in measure 33 at the end we have a G sharp to an E there. Okay, 20 minutes is plenty long for this video, so stay tuned for the next video, which is going to feature the bottom half of Etude number 3, page 73. Keep practicing. Practice smart. Good luck to you.